Very good evening to all the participants who are viewing this program through the YouTube channel. Now, today, Social Development Federation is organizing the webinar on a emerging topic, open data and open access publishing. Today, our two eminent speaker, one is the chief guest speaker, and Dr. Mahendra and Jadhav sir. He is a librarian at a Central Library, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Chennai. Sir, I have delivered a number of lectures in various eminent programs, eminent conferences, workshops, and in academic programs. Sir, we are welcome on behalf of Social Development Federation for delivering your lectures on this day. Now, another guest speaker, Mr. Nishant Kumar sir, is a scientist E from DESIDOC, DRDO, Ministry of Defense, Delhi. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of Social Development Federation. So, without any delay, my humble request on behalf of Social Development Federation to our chief guest, Dr. Mahendra Jadhav sir, please deliver your eminent talk on open data and open access publishing. Sir.
Dr. Anand, please first invite to Nishant sir.
Okay. So, sorry to the audience, there is some change in the programs. Now, I request to our guest speaker, Mr. Nishant Kumar sir, to deliver his eminent talk on the open data and open access publishing. Yes, Nishant Kumar sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. I hope I'm audible. Basically, I'm very privileged to have this opportunity to share my experiences and knowledge in the area with this platform of Social Development Federation. And I think most of the audience are quite evident and they must be aware about the topic, what we are going to discuss. Still, whatever new things can come, we can share and discuss. I think should I share my PPT with this on this platform? I'm sharing my slides. So till the slide is basically uploading, I just wanted to share with the audience and whoever is present that I basically belong to a laboratory called DESIDOC, which is a part of DRDO. And DESIDOC is the unit which is dealing with information and documentation part. We are the full form basically is Defense Scientific Information and Documentation Center, and we are the basically central information agency for DRDO. If we talk relevant to this particular topic, then we are maintaining a consortia of e-journals for DRDO, all DRDO labs, because we have a 50 plus labs in DRDO, and DESIDOC is basically managing the consortia of this consortium of these e-journals for DRDO, all the subscribed journals. Besides this, we are also, publishing three reputed journals which are indexed and which are having a good impact factor. That are also coming from DESIDOC, which basically caters to the defense audience, defense scientists and researchers. The three, you must have heard about those three. One is the Defense Science Journal, which is being published since 1949. Second one is Defense Journal of Library and Information Technology, which has been ranked as #1 in the Asia, in the area, in the field that it is working by Scopus based one ranking agency. Then we have and this is being published since 1981. And the third one which we have which we have launched recently is Defense Journal of Defense Life Sciences Journal, DLSJ, and it is being published since 2016. So only 5 years has happened, but still it has been indexed in Scopus and all other reputed UGC and other lists. So these three journals are also published by DESIDOC, and all these three journals are in open access domain. Now we'll come to know and see in the details, like what from the basics, what we mean by open access and what is the subscribed journal. So I'll just try to start my presentation. Is my slide visible, or can somebody help from the team? If my slide is visible, or I have to make it? Okay, now I think my slide is visible. So I'll start now. So basically, in my talk, whatever half an hour and whatever time is there, I'll be talking about basically the topic is open access data and publishing. So I'll discuss about the need and origin of OA, what do we mean by OA, what are the benefits, what are some of the myths that we are facing about OA. There are three different approaches that we will discuss. What are the approaches of open access? Depending upon that, we have different type of journals that are coming out. Institutional repositories will discuss. What are the open access, open licenses that are being developed by Creative Commons. And then a little bit, suppose we are trying to publish our technical work or research work in a particular publishing journal or a reputed journal, what all steps we should take, how to proceed for that. That will be discussing about choosing the correct journal for publishing. And then little bit I'll talk about open data, what is being done at DESIDOC. I'll also give a brief introduction. So now coming on the first part, like to start with, what is the problem? Why did we come for open access? So as those who are dealing with libraries and or information journal subscription, other things, they must be knowing that the cost of journals today are rising faster than inflation. So day per day, the cost of subscribing journals is getting very higher. Monopoly of publishers are coming. Like suppose you have to purchase a journal published by Elsevier, then you have to go for Elsevier only, and then the price is given by the publisher, and you have to negotiate a little bit, but mostly we have to come to what they are asking for, and that cost is going to increase day by day. And a major chunk of the institutions or organizations are being given in this subscribing of journals or these e-resources. If we see a data that was in for Harvard University, they are spending 3.75 million US dollars per year only for subscription of journals for their students. So we can see this is a big number, 3.75 million US dollars. You can think in Indian currency how much it will cost. Even in DRDO, we are subscribing, we are doing maintaining the consortia, and we are paying almost 20 crores per year. So we can think that how means the rate, how much it costs for a librarian or a university or an institute to provide these type of subscribed journals. And these are not basically because of increased costs. They are basically motivated by profit-seeking publishers, because they are increasing their profits through this mode. If you see of Elsevier Science, there is a data of 2018 that their profit margin was 37%, and their turnover was $2.4 billion in 2018. So now, if you see 37% this profit margin, it was higher than Apple, Google, or Amazon. So we can think of how big margin they are taking a chunk. So, and we the people from the libraries or information resources centers, we have to pay for that. So all these problems are coming, and mainly the scientific, technical, technological, and medical journals. They are charging the authors also have to pay APC, article publishing charges and others, which is costing a lot of so we are trying to move towards open journals, open publishing. Now libraries are finding it hard to get the alternatives, how and where we can go for a substitute, how we can provide by saving the cost. Similarly, authors also, an author is writing a piece of literature, and then he has published in a publisher's subscribed journal, and then the institute, if the institute where the author belongs to is taking some money for the research from a university or an organization, and suppose the organization is not subscribing to that journal, even the people from that organization are not able to read that article or what have been published. So we can see it is two-way. At one place the organization is paying for the research. On the second hand, the organization is again paying to get that article for their people to read it or understand it. So lots of difficulties for authors also. They are surrendering their copyrights to the publishers. So there are many issues are coming. it is bringing a lot of limitations for the librarians. So author or a researcher, what he wants, he needs a wide dissemination or notice for their work. Basically, not they are not interested in financial rewards mainly. They are mainly interested in like how their research work goes to a larger audience. Those who want to view it, see it, read it, how it is being noticed. So all these things are hampered by subscribing these journals and paying for the journals. So because of all these things, what happened? The open access publishing came into life, came into picture, or came into use. And this all started. If you look at a little bit about the history, after the Second World War in 1945, basically, there was a rapid growth in this type of literature, technical works, and technological literature. But 71 to 95, it was a time of print publishing. It was digital age when it came in after maybe 1996 or so. Then we enter into the types of e-journals or e-resources. And it was only after 2005 when this open access term and open access thing came, in a loud, brighter or light or popular domain. So if we see the three Ds we should remember, one is the Budapest Open Access Initiative. Second one was Bethesda Statement on Open Access Publishing in 2003. And finally, the Berlin Declaration in 2005. It was finalized in 2005, and only after that, open access, became more popular, more prominent, and people started, understanding, knowing, publishing through the open access journals or open access domain. Open access, as we see, it is free, it is immediate, it is online, it is available, and it is open for reuse or rights. So now, if we see a formal definition, we want to see what is an open access publishing or what do we mean by open access. We can see a definition I am giving you. This is coming from the Budapest Open Access Initiative. It was defined that it is a free availability on public internet, permitting any user to read, download, copy, distribute, print, search, or link to the full text of these articles, crawl them for indexing. Basically, once when we crawl, it is available for search engines to search, so that if you are searching for a particular information, those journals will come, or those articles will be crawled or shown on your Google search or somewhere. So you can crawl them for indexing, pass them as data to software, or use them for any other lawful purpose. And all these facilities you are getting, what I said, like copy, distribute, print, search, all these facilities you are getting without any financial, legal, or technical barriers. Means it is totally free for you to use it. And how we will use it, that is defined by how much to what extent you can use it. It will be defined by the open access licenses that are being given, that we will see in our later slides. Another definition, another way to define open access, like these are digital, online, free of charge, and free of most copyright restrictions. Because Creative Commons is an organization which is giving these copyright licenses on different levels. Then open, I think these are the same things which we are going to discuss. So now I think it is much more clear what do we mean by an open access. So now, and when we talk about this difference, the comparison among the traditional and open access, it will be more clear. Traditional journals, if you are going, you have to pay to read. Open access, it is free to read. If you go to traditional journals or traditional literature, you need library subscriptions or personal subscriptions. Only then you can use it. Whereas open access is widely available, you can use it to read it through search engines. You can go to different, directory of open access journals and open websites where you can get open access content. These are limited traditional libraries, journals. If you are going to see, they are having limited peer reviews. Whereas in open access, they can have unlimited peer reviews, sharing, collaboration, everything can be done. And traditional, if you are subscribing, they are often not free to reuse or use in different domains. You cannot take from one place and use it in some other place. But in case of open access, it is often free to use, reuse. There are certain restrictions that you will come to see. In traditional journals, there is a delayed publishing cycle, because right from submission of paper to getting it published, it can take time. There is open access, there is shorter publishing cycle. Even if you, a preprint can be uploaded immediately on an institutional repository or a personal repository. So, it makes open access immediately available. Then there are, some publishing fees always involved in traditional or subscribed thing. You have to pay to this to the journal publishers. In open access, there can be some publishing fees, or it can also be totally open, funded by some other organizations, some other agencies or societies. So that will come to see in the subsequent slides. So this is a comparison which makes much more clear what is the difference between a traditional and an open source, open access publisher. Now, how open access, the features, if we come to see, how we can define the features. If we see from publisher's point of view, they will not charge subscription or access fee from the users. If as a library, like user, you want to access an open access publishing, you don't need to pay any amount for that. But how they recover the cost? They recover the cost by imposing an author publication fee, or article processing charge, or they are funded by the organizations. In this way they can recover their cost. They allow self-archiving or depositing a digital copy of publication to some repositories which are publicly accessible. Then they can maintain a peer review to preserve the academic reputation. So these are all from the publisher point of view. If we see from the author point of view, they transfer the rights to publisher who allow open access to their work, or they can retain the right to post their papers on institutional servers or open archiving. It all depends upon what is the licensing agreement, or what are the features or terms and conditions of the journal where you are going to publish. Then we can say author have a control over integrity of their work and their right to be properly acknowledged and cited, because when you are using a Creative Commons license, you have to properly acknowledge the author. So author retains the right to certain extent. The publishing rights only are being transferred to the publisher in most of the cases. So now, what are the benefits? Why the authors or the publisher is not getting that much money? Why is going for an open access? Why an author is going for an open access? So if we see the benefits from different aspects, there are many benefits. For the author, if you see, there is worldwide readership, because author, I said, is not more interested in the monetary gain he is getting. Whether he wants his work to be noticed to a larger audience, to a larger research group, it should go. So worldwide readership, because there is no money involved, it is accessible through search engines. So most of the people can go through it, read it. It gives faster accessibility, greater use, improved impact and citation, and it provides a new way for information to be linked and used. So author gets a wider, acknowledgement, wider reach for his work. Similarly, a reader gets a barrier-free access to the literature. He doesn't need to pay money, doesn't need to get, permission from somewhere. He can simply go and access. It is not constrained by the budgets of the libraries. It increases the convenience. They can read it anywhere, anytime. Today there are multiple devices. You have e-libraries, virtual libraries. You can go and read it from anywhere, anytime. And it is, offer easy, rapid, and long-term access is available. So readers are also benefited. Now, if we see from the library viewpoint, libraries are benefited the most because they don't need to pay extra money to subscribe these journals. The depreciation part of the library is not involved here. Library budgets are controlled. A pressure from scientist academia. Sometimes the scientist asks for a particular literature, he says you should access, and library is not able to access. That problem is sorted out. And IT enabled cost effective alternative it is providing. So in all this way, it is benefiting the libraries very much. Universities, similarly, universities, what they want the visibility of the work that is being done, research work or literary work which is being done in the university. They want it to reach to a larger audience. So it gives a visibility of their faculty and institution. It showcases individual departmental institutional research to a larger audience. It shows what the university is working, what type of achievement it has taken. It university is working towards increasing the knowledge. So knowledge is basically built up through sharing and collaboration. So when you are going for an open access platform, it increases the options to share or to collaborate. So all these things help the universities to achieve their missions also, and showcase their work that they are doing, their faculty and the students are doing. So it is very much beneficial for the universities as well. Publishers, you may feel that they are not getting a money for what they are showing or publishing, but when the articles are more visible, more searchable, it is being viewed by a larger audience, then their visibility also increases, and they can get some money through submissions, advertising, readers or citations. There are multiple more ways to earn money than to charge exorbitant prices to us, the libraries. So a subscription based open access, it can and also when some journals are there which are not open totally, but some of their articles are in open domain. They are basically called hybrid journals. We'll see. So when a particular article is in open domain, a user comes to see that open article because it is available free of cost. And when a user opens that article, through that article it reaches to that journal, and it can see what are the other articles available in the journal. If he likes it, he may subscribe that journal also. So the option to subscribe a journal also increases if they are publishing some of their articles in open domain. So there are multiple ways to how an open access can benefit a publisher also, because some publishers are also allowing the authors to publish in repositories. When you are going for publishing in repositories, in that way also it attracts the audience who come towards reading the journals. So we can see similarly funding agencies or government who are publishing, they are more interested in their search results to be reach to a wider audience. They want the funders of research by sharing the government information as rapidly and widely possible. It also helps because two different government agencies are working say in different areas, but if the research outcome of one agency comes in public, the second agency may get benefited from that research output. Has it not been in open domain, the other agency may not be able to see that result and they may not have been benefited. I will tell you, when you see the technology working with the launch vehicles, satellite launch vehicles, a similar technology is used to develop a ballistic missile, long range ballistic missile. So both the technologies are common. So similarly, there can be different researchers going at different places, but their technologies may be common. So when their result comes in open domain, even other organizations, other institutes which are being funded by government, they can be benefited from that research outcome. So it helps the basic, philosophy or basic agenda of the government by making it available in open access. And citizens are always benefited. One, they can direct benefit is like they can go in open domain, they can read whatever they want to see, and they because when a government or a society or a government funded body is paying for a subscription based journal, they are paying the citizen money, which is basically tax paid money. So if it is coming in out free of cost, citizens are getting their money is not being used in that way. Rather, that money can be used in some other way which can be beneficial for them. Secondly, when indirect benefit to the citizens are like when a research outcome goes in an open domain, it helps to other researchers to bloom. And when more and more research outcome comes, it can help to develop some beneficial scientific or technological invention, which is indirectly again coming for the benefit of citizens. So open access, if we see, the benefits are in all aspects. Either it is a author, or it is a publisher, or it is a librarian, it is a university, or they are the citizens. So there are multiple benefits of open access, and this is the reason that open access is going at a faster pace. It is growing very fast and getting a wider accessibility. So now there are certain common myths when you are trying to go for an open access. You feel whether I should go for open access or not. As a researcher, as an author, if you are trying to publish your article in open access journal, many people feel open access may be substandard. They may not be as given as reputed. So we should know that there are certain common myths we should be able to bust those myths. Like number one, many people think articles which are published in open access journals are not peer reviewed. This is not at all true. The peer review process is as much stringent in open access journal as much any subscribed journal. In fact, it is more open for reviews and scrutiny and refereeing. Second is like if author can think that if they publish an open access article, it can be published only in an open access journal. This is also not true. There are many subscription-based journals also which are providing open access articles in a hybrid model, and they charge certain APC article processing charge or publishing charge from the author, but author can publish their article in an subscription-based journal as well. Third thing, people think that publishing in open access journal is not a good thing, it will not benefit, but no, as we have discussed just now, there are multiple and multifaceted benefits to open access publishing. So there is no denying of the fact that open access is a preferable mode. So this is also one of the myths. Another is like that open access is only for basic work and not for reporting novel high quality findings. Not true. And open access has now developed into open science and incorporating complete research life cycle. So it is not at all for basic work. Any advanced work can be published there. Open access do not publish good quality articles. Wrong. They are publishing open access. There is directory of open access journals, and it lists the same high quality journals as the classic subscription based journals. For example, we have New Journal of Physics, we have IEEE Access, and there are many more. Even the one that I named initially, published by DRDO, like Defense Science Journal, they are all having very good index and very good impact factors. They are high quality journals which are published in open domain. open access. Uh, Open access articles are not copyrighted. This is also not true. Copyright is retained by the author. The publishing rights is transferred to the publisher. Reusability of the content is reassured, and there are Creative Commons licenses we will see in the later part, which can be used in to allow the use of our open journal, open article. To what extent it can be used, that we can define as an author or a publisher. So all these myths, now we are aware, we should not be taken up by them. Uh, Second is like publishers charge exorbitantly for open access publishing. This is also not true. Pricing can be managed, negotiated, and some even there are organizations which are funding the authors to publish this. So this is also not a what. And there is one more myth, like if I have deposited my work in a repository and I have preprints on my website, then I don't require to publish in open access, because people think I've already published my article in an open repository on my website, and why to go for an open access journal? This is not at all true. When you go for an open access journal, it has more benefits. It has other benefits than what you are putting on your repository or personal websites. Okay, because we should have a version of record, VOR, what we call normally, which is needed for reference and which is finally published version of our research output in the journal. Because journal is reputed, people will come to the journal and they will find a version of record of your article on that journal. So it is very much mandatory, even if you are putting it on a institutional archive or repository, we should try to get it published in a reputed open access, open publishing journal. And there is no way that open access is going to affect your, prestige as a researcher or your image, because it is anyway they have got very good reputation, and our research work will go to a larger audience. So it is very much, preferable, and there is no such limitations while publishing in an open access article or open access journal. So now we're coming on the routes. There are basically what are the approaches for open access. We have two approaches mainly. One is called the Golden Road, one is called the Green Road. Golden Road means we are publishing our article, our research work in an open access journal. The journal is totally open access. We are going and publishing it. Second one is called the Green Route, where what happens, we are publishing our article in a subscription-based journal. Say the journal is subscription-based. There are 10 articles, or in a volume, in an issue, there are 10 articles, out of which 8 are subscription based, but 2 are open access model. So when a person comes to that journal, he will be able to read those 2 articles in an open access model. He doesn't need to pay for it. So, but at the same time, you can also publish a copy of that particular article, either a preprint version or a post-print version, on your institutional repositories like Gyan Shrota or other which are available. So, but it all depends upon the rules and terms and condition of the journal, subscription-based journal, where you are publishing your article. How much it allows you to publish in the self-archiving repositories or parallel publishing. Okay. Sometimes there is an embargo period, like that your work is being published in the journal, and after only 6 months it can be put or uploaded on a institutional repository or institutional archive. So these are basically 2 routes. One is Golden Route, other one is called Green Route. This is only the same thing we are showing. The Golden Route is there and Green Route comes. Then there is a hybrid model also, we will see just now. So now, depending upon this Golden Route, we have 2 types of journals. One is called full open source access journal, and second one can be a hybrid journal. Full open source access journal means you can publish your article in an open source journal, and the users, the subscribers, they can, or the readers, they can read your article free of cost going on that open journal website or where that journal is available. For example, PLOS, Stage Open, they are all available as open source journal. But the publication cost, the author has to pay certain APC, article processing charge, sometimes article publishing charge, which they have to pay to the open access journal provider. So the author has to pay, but a reader doesn't need to pay. The reader gets everything in the full access, full open source access journal. Second one is hybrid journal that we are talking about. Subscription-based journal is there, which is allowing certain articles, certain individual articles for the users, for the readers, free of cost. But again, for that, the author has to pay certain APC, processing charges. Elsevier, Violence, Springer Nature, all these Taylor and Francis, all they are doing this. They are giving these hybrid models. Means in a particular issue, you will get some issues which are openly available, whereas the rest articles you have to pay to read. So this is the hybrid model. So this is the golden route. The green route, as we said, we are publishing it on in some journal. At the same time, we can publish the same thing in an institutional repository or some personal website, personal archive, somewhere we can put it. But there is sometimes there is an embargo, means like there is a restriction. You cannot publish it in your open repository. Normally, sometimes there is 6 months period, sometimes there is 12 months, embargo period. Only after that you can, upload your this articles or your research work in a repository. So all the major, research institutes like IISc, IIT, IITs, DRDO, and other research institutes, universities also, many universities, they are all maintaining the, their own institutional repositories. Many of them are free for users to read. Some are on the intranet, which is not available for normal users. But this is a possibility which is available. One is the platinum route. Platinum route is also called the diamond open access route or the sponsored open access route. Now here what happens, it allows, the immediate access to content of the journal. Means there is no embargo period. The journal is available to the user free of cost to read, and even the author who is submitting their paper or article, technical work, research work on those open access journals, even they don't need to pay anything for publishing those journals, because in many cases that cost is borne by some sponsoring organizations or some institutions. So they don't need to, even the author doesn't need to pay, the reader doesn't need to pay. It is totally, you can say, in all aspects, it is a full open source access journal. So this is, this particular route journal adopts, then it addresses both the cost and journal quality concerns. In DRDO, we are publishing 3 journals, and they all can come under the category of platinum route because they are fully open source access journal. Even the author doesn't need to pay anything, nor the reader need to pay anything. It is totally available free of cost without any embargo period. So these are the basically routes we talked about: the golden route, the hybrid journals, then the green route, and the platinum route. Based on this, we have types of journals: subscription-based journals, open access journals, hybrid journals. We have already seen institutional repositories. We have already discussed so much about them, that how they are available. They are also providing greater access to research, more progress for research, greater impact. Their long-term preservation is available. They are also indicating what type of work is being done in an organization. So it is basically an, you can say, repository of organization's output, or activities which is going on. So it is very good for an organization as well as for the researchers, the readers who are coming to read it. Some open source open repositories we can see. One is DOAR, the Directory of Open Access, which is available, repositories which is available, and it lists multiple repositories which are available in open domain. So if you want to see what are the open access repositories, you can come on this platform DOAR, and you can see all the reputed open access repositories. It shows a list of all the repositories that are available. Now I have listed, these are some 3 open source that you can open access platforms: Directory of Open Access Journals, Directory of Open Access Resources, then there is Directory of Open Access Books, and then Open Access, I think should be Directory. So all these are available where a user can come and find a list of all reputed standard open access publishings, and you can come and get the information from here. Now, the question comes of copyright and open licenses, because when you are going in an open access platform, whether we have a copyright, whether we have no copyrights, so how it is being defined or regulated. So I'd like to tell you, whenever you go for a copyright, it sometimes says all rights reserved. Whereas in case of open access, there is no rights reserved. This is what a common perception is. But even in case of open access, what we are providing, there can be open licenses which define the extent to which it is open. See, copyright says it is mine. Open license also says it is mine. But copyright says I don't allow you to take the material for or reuse it, repurpose it. But open license says it is mine, but I do allow you to take this material and repurpose. You can use it, but only thing you have to acknowledge that this is the source, this is the author, and then you are free to use it. But how you are free to use, in what way you can use, that is being defined by the open licensing. It tells you can retain, how you can reuse, how you can redistribute, how you can revise, or how you can remix the content which is available in open access domain. Now, which license you are going to choose will decide how open is your content. Fine. So there are multiple, classification of open licenses, like copyleft licenses are there, open content license is there. I am mainly going to talk about the Creative Commons. Creative Commons is an organized non-profit organization which enables the sharing and use of creativity and knowledge through illegal tools. Even YouTube videos and other things people are creating and uploading on the website, they are also governed by this, Creative Commons licenses. So if you see, there are mainly these four basic terms. If we know this, then there are multiple permutation combinations of these terms which decide how your open access content can be used or reused. Number one is attribution. We have to must acknowledge this open access content is by whom. Who is the author? We should credit the author, the source, little bit details which should be there. Then second one is ending no derivatives, means you can reuse the work which is available in open domain, but you cannot, you cannot alter it. You cannot make deviations in it. You have to use it as it is. Third one is NC, means you may not use it. It is available in open domain. You can use it, but you cannot use it for commercial purpose. And third one is like share alike essay. It says that you can use the open access thing. You can also, make derivatives of it. You can use it for commercial purpose also, but you can share it further. You can use it further using the same license, which was the license of the earlier one. Means the original content has certain license. From there you use it. Now when you are using it, reusing it, you cannot use a different license. You have to use the same license as the original source. So based on this, we have combinations like one is public domain, means it is available for all, copy and publish, commercial use. You can modify, you can change the license, everything you can do. Even attribution is not required, totally public domain, no restrictions at all. But when we are coming for Creative Commons licenses, by means attribution you have to give. Then by essay means you have to give the attribution and you have to use share alike. What we talked means the same source of license. Third one is like you have to say the attribution you have to give, and then you can use in a non-derivative format. You cannot change and use it. Then you can use it by and non-commercial use. Similarly, by non-commercial and share alike. Similarly, by non-commercial and also non-derivative. So all these combinations are available, and we can how we want our open content to be used can be decided by providing using these licenses, or even if we are going for a open content in open publishing mode, we can check the license available mentioned there, and we can now understand in which way it can be used or reused. So these are the Creative Commons licenses. Now just one thing everyone wants to know, what are the things we should consider before publishing? Whether what is the terms and condition of the publisher, what are the reputed journals we can publish, whether I can put it on repository or not. If I put it in on repository, what is the embargo period? So all these information, how you will come to know. There is a website called Sherpa Romeo. Romeo basically it is being developed by Sherpa, and Romeo basically writes metadata for open archiving. So this Sherpa Romeo, its website you can go and you can find out, you can search. It has got a repository of more than 22,000 journals. They will tell you which a particular journal you can search, and then you can see the term condition, how you can publish it, how you can self-archive, and what circumstances you can do it. There are multiple versions of archiving, whether you can archive the preprint, means before you submitting to the journal, what was the preprint version, that you can do, or you can submit a post-print version, means after it has been refereed, or some publishers even allow a published, what has been published in the journal, that particular PDF you can publish. So all these, you can understand, read from the terms and condition of the journal. So if we go on the Sherpa Romeo website, we'll try to find they're giving different color code to understand to what extent it is providing the flexibility to upload it on a repository or so. So if you see, green means you can archive preprint and postprint both. Then blue says that you can archive only the postprint. Like that, yellow says you can only archive the preprint. But if you see all 64% of publishers which are available on Sherpa Romeo, they allow some form of self-archiving. Means a majority of publishers are allowing self-archiving with certain limitation or other. Only 36% are there which are not formally supporting the archiving thing. So in this way the website looks, and you can go and you can find, like, what is mentioned here, where it is ticked, where it is not ticked. You can see what type of version is allowed and not. So Shilpa Romeo will help you in understanding this, how you can publish. There is a trap of predatory journals, predatory publishers. You must have heard or known, and many of us must have gone once or twice. We have published, because these predatory journals are giving false claims. They are giving, they are charging you submission fee instead of publication fee. You have to pay some money to them, and they will give you different type of options, like pay you will make you a member of our organization, our society, and lifetime membership. All these things, they will charge money from you, but they are not reputed journals, and their research work and whatever publishing is there is not up to the mark. So publishing in open access journals doesn't harm your reputation, but if you are publishing in a predatory journal, it is of worthless, or it is no use. So we have to be very alert about these predatory publishers. And predatory publishers, you can see multiple ways are there to understand how a predatory publisher looks, because they are making clone websites, clone names. Like suppose you say Library High Tech is a journal, Library High Tech is a reputed journal, you must be knowing. They will say Library High Tech the journal. So if any time people get confused whether it is the original or the predatory one, we get into trap. They will show you a good website, a good editorial board, but if you go inside, you will find most of the addresses are incorrect. The conferences they are mentioning are not correct. Their website may not be of professional quality, and their information mismatch. They will say these are the guidelines you have to follow for submitting a paper. When you go inside and see the papers, they will not be following those guidelines. So in multiple ways, the predatory publishers can be recognized, and we have to be very much alert that we are not getting into the trap of these predatory publisher or submitting our research work in these predatory publishers. And there are certain websites like predatoryjournals.com. You will get a list of predatory journals. You can check there. There is also a beerslist.net website. It also lists the predatory journals, which you can find out whether you are going to publish in a journal is a predatory journal or a reputed journal. You can go and search from there. You should be very much alert. Then there are websites which give you right direction where and how you can publish. There is a website called thinkchecksubmit.org. If you go there, thinkchecksubmit.org, they will give you certain guidelines how you can, what are the steps, how you can think, what all you can check, and then how you can submit. So this will help you to choose a right journal for publishing your research work. Suppose another trap is fake conferences or organizations. So also to check whether the conference is correct or not, there is a website called thinkcheckattend.org. There you can go and check. There is also a UGC care list. UGC care list is basically UGC Consortium of Academic and Research Ethics, and they also provide lists. It has been launched recently, not very earlier, last 4-5 years only, and they provide two types of lists. First list, they are telling which are the journals which are qualified through UGC care protocol, because they have their own protocol to find out which are the reputed journals. Secondly, they are also providing a list of journals which are globally recognized databases which have been indexed. Then UGC care is a good tool. Then we have journal selection tools also. All the major publishers like Wiley, Elsevier, they are giving you journal selection tool which is available for their own journals only, but they can help you in finding out a good journal that you want to publish. So this was all about open publishing. In very short, because time is I think running out, I'll only talk about a little bit about open data. Just like we talked about open journals or open publishing, data, when we say data, basically comes in a more structured format, a format which can be understood by the computers like CSV, comma separated values, something like that. So open data is also a norm which is very much coming nowadays, because it's because to democratize information, to make the information available to anyone. All the documents and different type of bodies are there which are defending and advocating for open data. So open data is a data again that can be freely used, reused, or redistributed by anyone, and to most they can be shared alike. There are multiple ways to use this open data. The major things are availability and access, reuse and redistribution, and then universal participation. It all helps. What type of data can be shared? Data can be of any type. It can be scientific research, it can be climate, it can be cultural works, it can be artifacts, health, weather, history, government, work, what government is doing. All those data can become the basic funda, is like Many of the data, recently, Government of India also has made one NDSAP policy called National Data Sharing and Accessibility Policy, and it is available on a website called data.gov.in. So if you go on data.gov.in, you will find all the data which has been generated through the government bodies, because that data is generated by government money. So that data should reach to the people, because it is the data is generated by public money, so public has the right to reach to that data. So government has mentioned this open data platform where we all can go and see what are the government departments are doing. That is one say. It encourages the reuse of data, proper management. It improves the discoverability, visibility, and attributions. All these things can be. I told you this data.gov.in, which is managed by NIC, and it has got data from different government departments. Presently, 181 government departments are sharing their data here, and more than 5 lakh of data sets are available. Even all the defense organizations all can publish. Only some limitations are there. National security or some classified data cannot go there, but most of the data can go there, and they are going for viewing. So now to make our data openly available, we can publish just the data in our institutional repository or the websites like data.gov.in. Second way is like we can there are data journals available where the journal only publishes the data. Instead of publishing the whole text, they are publishing the data sets only. So they are called data journals. Data journals are scholarly journals that publish data sets or data papers. Some traditional journals are also now including data descriptors, databases, or similar as publication type. So we can also publish our data or whatever research work. A summary can be published in data journals also. So data, a data paper describes a data set as defined by Geoscience Science Data Journal. It gives details of collection, processing, software, file formats, etc. All can come in that data set. So now publishing our research in a traditional journal and make our data openly available, both are the ways we can use make open publishing. I've given you a list of their different data journals which are depending from different fields like biodiversity. Then there are from open archaeological data, journal of open public health data. There are multiple data sets are available and different data journals types. So apply just like Creative Commons we are applying there. Similarly, equivalent to that on data we have opendatacommons.org. We can use from this we can find different type of tools and licenses. We can put on our data sets whether it can be used and how it can be used, up to what extent it can be used. Okay, so these are all about the open data thing. Now similarly, just like we talked in Creative Commons licenses, in our data open data also we have public domain data which has no restriction at all. Then we have share life and attribution should be there. These type of restrictions can be put on the data which is available in open domain. So as a summary, we can say that open data is just one component of the larger open access movement that can promote global collaboration and increase the impact on our own scholarly endeavors. So a variety of online resources exist that collect and preserve this data like data.gov.in and others. So we can also be both a user of our open data and a contributor in open data domain. We can be like that because we are researchers, we are readers, both ways we can do that. So now just to conclude, because I think I've already exceeded my time. So rather than relying on journal articles alone for scholarly communication, data sets can be published as a first-class scholarly products, either alongside journal articles that use the data set or as a standalone object with inherent value. So I think in this way I try to cover the open publishing upon the journals as a little bit about the open data. Hope you must have got a little bit information from this. So now at last I'm just showing you just this link. You should remember our DRDO journals. It is not only for DRDO people. Any technical author, any researcher can contribute in the journals in our DRDO journals. And as I told you, we have 3 journals, and they are all available freely on this website, publications.drdo.gov.in. You can find the journals, you can find the data, and if you see the Defense Science Journal, it is being running from 1949. 0.73 is the impact factor. It is on Google Scholar Matrix. It has nearly 10,000 citations. 36H is the index factor. Similarly, if we see Defense Journal of Library Information Technology, it is running since 1981. It has been ranked first in Asia, and it also has got more than 5,000 citations. It has been indexed all over Scopus Web of Science. Any user anywhere in the world can contribute in these journals. And this life science journal, which was recently launched, still it has been indexed in Scopus Web of Science everywhere, and UGC key list also it has been there. So now it is also increasing its visibility. So this was all from my side. Hope it has been useful information. Some useful information you must have got from this. With this, I'll thank the organizers, and any question, anything anybody wants to ask, you can. If it is interactive, I don't know, you can ask. Okay, thank you from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir, for your nice talk on open data and open access publishing. BP Singh, sir, have you any questions in the chat box of the YouTube channel? If you have any question, then ask
Sir,
to the.
question will be taken in the end of sessions after the. Okay, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. Now I request to uh, Dr. Rajneesh Sharma, sir, Vice President of Social Development Federation, to introduce our chief guest. Sir, Dr. Rajneesh Sharma, sir. Please unmute yourself, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. On behalf of Social Development Federation, Agra, I welcome all of you, and especially Dr. Mahendra and Jadhav ji, who is the Librarian and Central Library of IIT Madras. No doubt, whatever the program is being organized by the Federation today is the need of the day. And the chief guest of this program, Dr. Mahendra and Jadhav, he is a very learned person of the field. He is working in so many reputed institutions of India. Along with that, he is a good researcher and award winner personality of India. You can say he is a national individual, national or international fame, who is honoring the chair of this program. So for the presidential, or we can say the chief guest remark, I heard it from the side of Social Development Federation. Dr. Mahendra and Jadhav, please, sir.
Thank you very much, Sharmaji. Good evening to all. The Social Development Federation, Uttar Pradesh, a non-profit organization, is celebrating International Data Week from 18 to 20 June. On this occasion, I congratulate to Dr. BP Singh, coordinator of this program, and Dr. Anand Kumar, program convener, and Dr. Rajni Sharma, vice president of SDF, for organizing a webinar on open data management and its applications. And I thanks to them for inviting me as a chief guest on this open data and open access publishing. And I also congratulate to Dr. Nishant Kumar, scientist from DESIDOC. He almost covered everything. Almost covered everything. It is very difficult to when the second speaker talk on same topic. But when you're just talking about open data and open access publishing, so there are what is open data? Open data is nothing but actually open knowledge is knowledge contained in any format actually or any data. People can use, they can reuse, they can redistribute without any legal or maybe technological or maybe social restrictions. Open data, there are many large sets available. Nowadays, you can say example is there actually like Crossref is there actually Crossref Kaggle. So these are the very huge database, genome DNA, and like you can say nowadays recently COVID is there, COVID database is there. So these are the free databases that on open database platform. These are the types of databases you getting the resources from many sources actually. So when these are the open data, it is interoperable, API based. So anybody can harvest, they can export import So these are the facilities available when you publishing any data. So that should be actually it should be compatible with the interoperable OIPMH. So anybody can share without any hindrance and any resistance. So Nishant Kumar already told that actually government of India has taken initiatives. Really, that is very good initiatives. So in that actually the Ministry of Science and Technology, they taken initiative and they formed the platform of government data, open government data, and that actually they frame the policy document also there. So means when there is a policy document, so all the states actually they have to submit the data. When it was government data is there, government when funding is there. So whatever actually on any data government is paying money. So that what they generating data, that data should be available and they should be sent to the actually this government data portal. And these are the portal available as a software as a platform, software as a service model, and it's all government service application, particularly from many states. Actually, they putting data there. So when you see actually when this government data objective basically is to provide the platform to provide proactive and open access to the data generated through the public funds. And one is increased transparency because when the government of India model actually digital India, so there should be transparency, accountability, citizen engagement, and collaborative work should be there actually, and that better government decision making. And now one of the GEM portal also, all the government organizations they just buying or some is purchasing through GEMS. This is also very huge data is there actually. So basically, there is a when you just going for open data, there should be actually data management and data actually how you can access that. So in data management, basically you should have proper catalog, workflow should be there. They should be used so proper standards and metadata, and there should be validated data. Data should not be fake, and they should be analytic actually. When data sets are there, you can use some tools and API to analyze that. And all these document anybody can access and they can analyze, visualize. And when you want to that portal, you should be there should be one data portal. It should be single point access actually. Search and discovery model should be there actually. Open format should be there. So only intelligent exchange data is possible. And download, you can download application visualization and web services also there. So another example I want to tell you is UNICEF. UNICEF is the one. UNICEF is also they means on children's. They actually means around the world they collected data and data available for about the children's education, quality education, their health, everything available. And one thing just I want to say that when we say open data is means any data. But now open access publishing also is there actually. Dr. Nishant Kumar, everything is covered, but almost we can say today 75 to 80% all the journals they are behind paywall. So most of the actually these are the big publishers like about 50% publishers, 50% means actually articles they share actually like Springer, Nature, Elsewhere, Wiley, T&F. These are the major publishers. They having all these beyond paywall journals. Only 20 to 25% articles are available on open access. So that may be due to the open access movement started actually in 1991 by you can see Paul Ginsberg when he started archive in physics. When he set up an archive e-print server. So that time Los Alamos laboratory in Cornell University. After that, Peter Super and the Stephen Harvard actually they also means they are the both are the blog writers. They take an initiative and they started Budapest Initiative in 2001. So that time, after that, you can see Public Library of Science, then DOAJ, and then another thing actually, ePrint DSpace on repository softwares come out. And from that, many people and many authors, they depositing and publishing and open access various models. See, when the academic and research data, so most of the European countries, they have mandate that actually any funding research is there, or maybe any government or not government funding is there, that research should be open. And that is mandatory for them to open that research. So that's why there is actually in European Union or American, most of the open access is happening because in India not possible because Indian government not giving money on that. So we do not getting full funding from the government. So that's why our publications not that much. You can say more in the open access domain. So most of the can see most of the actually platform actually we have to publish all Nishant Kumar already means informed that actually green, gold, hybrid, diamond, all those are the route. So where you can publish because when everybody actually libraries are facing problem with the funding, and there are the like-minded people actually when means some of the when author are paying the for publishing ABC charges, and again library subscribing journals. So means there is actually double dipping in there. Means publisher is taking money from us as well as from the authors. See, these are actually some of the publishing, all the like-minded people actually they come forward, and again these are the open access movement was initiated and it was going forward. But later on, so most of the European countries, so those who are actually giving funding to the project or those are sponsoring project, they come forward actually and they form uh, the coalition is and it come as a planes. So Planet basically was in European countries. It was formed that time, and there was agenda was there. The Planet actually is a, so no science should be locked behind paywalls. So this was the actually means main. You can say it was the agenda item for that. And in that, with 2021 onwards, actually all the scholarly publications, either maybe funded, government or non-government, that should be published with national and international research council, the European Union, and funding agency bodies. So that should be published in open access journals, open access platform, or maybe made immediately available through open access repository without embargo. So these are the actually means these are the things happen in European countries when the plan started. So many countries like Germany, they go on with Wiley, Springer, Norway, Sweden. So many countries, European countries, they come forward and they form the coalition on almost 23 countries. They gone for all these platforms. And when they form planets, most of the article on open access journals coming from European country only. So later on, what happened means when this country coming forward actually, when it was open access, so these country and there are many publishers they come forward and they thought that actually you can have some different model. So another the publisher come with transformative agreement. Transformative agreement basically is it working only for hybrid journals. So earlier hybrid journals, Dr. Nishant Kumar already told that actually it means some article published under open access domain, some under in beyond paywall. So when transformative agreement is there, so in that actually when you just going for transformative agreement any journals, so as per the actually open access policy, author can choose between the open access and as subsequently the every year 5 to 15% increase of open access journals and within 5 years actually that journals will be completely open access. So but author has to pay for the publishing APC charges. This is one model. Another model actually come read and publish. So many publishers actually they just means came that actually they only charging for reading mean like XYZ publisher like elsewhere Springer. He will open entire book of the collection science direct and he will charge something for publishing. Like when he fix amount of APC, he will just fix with that. Like IIT Madras has to publish it under open access 200 articles. XYZ amount, you can say $500 per article, that amount you have to pay for that. See, when you publishing that amount, next year actually whatever you publish that amount will be subsequently reduced from the subscription charges. So that way actually it working and that maybe subsequently it will reduce their cost. Later on there was another model come, publish and read. The publish and read model is there actually you have to publish article because many countries they just university they gone with the publisher they confirm that we'll publish XYZ article, but we want for reading is free. So when the publisher charging for APC charges or maybe lump sum amount for any 2000 article will be published from the such organization, they will charge for that and they will give entire access for what is collection that. So in this many countries gone with that because they have mandate actually mandate to means whatever funding is there from government they receive that they have to publish in open access. But in India actually not possible because only publication they issued Sindhu Consortia. Those actually member for them in that under Cambridge University Press only offer this platform. So we means we actually reading and under read and publish. So we just publishing article in the journals to 320 articles actually we publish from each of the members. So IIT Madras still almost published 32 journals. They before 2 years they started that. So like that actually it is increasing in India. So another thing actually there when you say read and publish and read and transport to journals, still actually there is no clarity because we do not know what publisher will come with new model. So that actually thing we have to see. And when there is a funding is there, means funding is there, definitely we should go to open access. because open access benefit is there. Actually, it can, anybody can access. It will be downloadable. More citation will get author will get means uh, credit. Actually, the organization will get credit. So on this way, actually, it help you ranking or other things. So data is available to anyone. Anybody can access that. So with this actually, when you see as per the Scopus data, last 5 years, in India, almost 9.64 lakhs article published within 5 years. But out of that, actually, you can say under open access, 2,56,210 article published under open access. Maybe not, in that again, there is categorized gold open access, hybrid open access, bronze, green, and these are the basically from the five specific disciplines: medicine, one of their engineering, and computer science, physics, and biology. So these are the actually, you can see five major subject in that. Actually, these are articles published. And with this, actually, when this open access platform and open access data and open access publishing, so almost Nishant Kumar cover everything. And when he was a chief guest, I did not prepare any slides. That was actually from my side, and I again actually I wish to thank actually with Dr. BP Singh and Dr. Rajesh Sharma, Anand Kumar for giving me an opportunity for this wonderful initiative to started for the data and open access publishing, and I congratulate for them for organizing this very good webinar. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Now I request to Dr. Rajneesh Sharma for concluding sessions.
Thank you, BP Singh, and thank you, Dr. Mahendra Jadhav ji, for their final session, and thank you, our speaker, Mr. Nishant Kumar ji, who gave this broad information, very detailed information regarding this open data and open access. As we know that this open data and open access now has been very common, and it is easily available for the needy person. Regarding this, every type of detail, we should be the suitable platform, we should be the suitable journals, and we should be the suitable material, and how to be achieved from different resources and different platforms. It has been informed by Mr. Nishant Kumar in very detail. Social Development Federation oftenly used to organize such type of events for the needy persons who can attain such type of information related different topics of library and other fields, because Social Development Federation having a objective of education purpose. Basically, under this scheme, it was the 11th program of the federation online, and in the future also we will be organizing such type of programs from the side of Social Development Federation, and will try to give the information to the needy persons regarding the respective fields. And I'm very thankful on behalf of the Social Development Federation for both of the speakers for their valuable information, contributing the valuable time on the working day. Once again, I am very thankful to the organizer, Dr. Anand, Mr. VP Singh, Dr. Mahendra Singh ji, and Mr. Nishant Kumar ji for their valuable contribution in this event. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, some questions
Yeah.
are come from audience. How creditable are open access journals that don't charge article processing fees? Ask Josna Taria. Nishant sir, please.
See, I told you earlier in my slide also I have showed you two slides which are mentioning about the common myths regarding these open access journals. So when an open access journal is not charging any article processing fee, this doesn't mean the journal that journal is substandard or low standard. In fact, those who are charging or processing fee in the name of journals, they are basically the predatory journals, and most of other journals are there. But there are many reputed journals which are not charging any fee or any author processing charges. For our example, you can take our DRDO journals, which are having very good reputation, but we are not charging any fee from any of the authors nor from the the readers or the users. It is totally available free. That platinum, these journals I told you in the name of platinum journals or diamond access journals. Okay, so this, if a journal is not charging any article processing fee, this in no way shows that it is not credible. So we should not go in this, we should not be in this dilemma or confusion that they are substandard. They can be equally, or they can even better standard they can have. Okay.
Sir, another more question come from Vajwa Rohit Kumar. I want to free publishing library science journal website.
Free publishing libraries. I told you one is our own. I told you Defense Library, Defense Journal of Library and Information Technology. It is a library science, journal website. It is available free. You can totally free. You can, of course, you can, publish. Or you can send your papers. It will be published totally free of cost. No issues. And it is ranked, number 1 in Asia as per the Scopus rating index. It is number 1. Any other question?
No more questions, sir. Oh, sir, one question more.
Yes.
Can we identify reputed journal through impact factor of journals?
Yes. Impact factor is measure yardstick to understand which journal is reputed or not, because it depends upon the citation, other things it is defined. So it is a way to identify reputed journals. Better impact factor means good, reputed journals. You can find out. There are certain databases. Somebody was also asking about Scopus. Then there are Web of Science. These are all, databases of bibliographic database containing abstract and citations. Based on that, they are giving you the impact based on the impact factors, other factors. So they help you in identifying some good reputed journals. You can find there.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think our audience are benefit from your satisfactory answers. Now, I would like to present a heartily vote of thanks for my invited speakers and all audience. Just, especially thank to Dr. Mahendra and Jadhav sir. He accept our invitation in short notice time and very busy schedules. Thank you, Jadhav sir, and
Thank you,
welcome
sir.
in.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Now, thanks to Dr. Nishant Kumar sir. He gives the very busy schedule time to us and our audience. Thank you, sir. Very, very thankful for accepting our invitation and giving the time for educational and research participants. Also, heartily thanks to all our audience because any audience not a program successfully. So thanks to all my colleagues and audience. Now session are going to end.